Hi there, and today I'm going to just have a little chat to you about the supplements that I use and what I see to be effective. So, first things first, supplements aren't the be all and end all. They are, kind of the cherry on top of the cake. You need to be nailing everything else. You need to be nailing your nutrition, calories, protein, fats, carbs, consistent nutrition. Not Monday to Friday style, I mean 7 days a week, consistently, every single day, sticking to your goals. Consistent training and seeing consistent progress in training. That gives results. Sleep and recover. That is how you build muscle, and it is also how you drop fat. So don't ever think that a supplement is going to really, it's not going to be magic. It's not a magic pill. There's all these pots, but there's no magic. No magic at all. So when you're looking at supplements, if it sounds like magic, I'd probably avoid it. But what I'm going to do is go through some of the supplements that I use. I'm going to actually touch on protein and whey protein first, and it's because it's probably the one thing that, although it is a supplement, because it supplements a diet, it is a macronutrient. So it's the same as chicken, it's the same as tuna, it's the same as eggs. So don't, I see it a little bit different. Obviously, everything else is all, micros, minerals, aminos, and things like that, and broken down versions of macros. But protein is a pure macro in itself. So, a couple of things that I use. CMP propeptide. I'd like to say it was a very wise decision on myself. Truth is, I won 2 tubs of it, 2 different competitions. Benefits of social media. Impact Whey. I stole that from the girlfriend just for the demo of this video, but yet again, if I was probably making a choice, that's something I'll be looking towards because it's cheap, it's good, and it does the job. It ticks all the boxes that a whey protein needs to tick. To me, whey protein is convenient. It's more convenient than a chicken breast, and it's more convenient than trying to shove it in a tin of tuna. And it's just that little bit more palatable. So when it comes to protein, that's what I'd kind of go for. I'm a bit more of a 100% pure whey protein guy if I'm making the choices myself. Obviously those 2. One was one and one's my girlfriend's. The other thing is obviously casein protein. Some people do find a slow release protein can be beneficial. And sometimes, personally, in my experiences, it will just keep you feeling fuller. The CMP is a blend that's got casein in it, and I always feel whenever I have that, whether it's in shake form or mixed with oats or poured on top of cereal, I will normally just feel a little bit fuller for a little bit longer. I don't know if it's a psychological thing. I don't know if there's something else in there that does that, but that's just one of those things. So I do find a casein protein, although it is slow release and could be beneficial if you're going long periods of time without getting a meal, it does make you feel fuller. One of my favourites, muscle mousse. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll probably see I make up lots of stuff with that, from simple to downright crazy. But yet again, normally it's a bit of a pre-bed dessert. I've got a crazy sweet tooth, and that just ticks the boxes. That's also casein based, but that's purely just preference on flavour and texture and the versatility when it comes to making high protein desserts. So that's kind of that's protein, and it's probably one of those things that I'd say most people in health, fitness, or some sort of activity or sport, it's probably something you ought to have in your cupboard because it's just going to help you reach those protein goals. And although I'd say yes, most of your protein should come from food, sometimes that convenience of a protein shake, especially things like post-training. Obviously, if you're finishing a session and you've got a long drive home or something, it can just be a good way to help kind of get that protein in and just not kind of lose that meal in that time that you're driving home. You can start feeding the protein in straight after training and aiding the recovery process. So how I start in the morning, multivitamin, fish oil, and D3. So that's kind of my 3 vitamins and minerals to kind of kick the day off, and it's very much, it just ticks all the boxes for me in terms of health. There's loads of research on those 3. I'm not going to go into any great detail on it, but it's very much, vitamin ticks all the boxes. If there's anything that I am deficient in through my diet, fish oil for the general health purposes of fish oil, and D3 because most of my time is spent either inside gyms or sat behind laptops. So as much as I like to think I get outside and see a lot more sun, I probably don't actually see as much sun as I should, so I do supplement with the D3. So very much just to kind of that is just ticking the health boxes. My diet is varied, it is balanced, there's lots of fruit and veg in there, and I'd like to think that I probably don't need them, but for the price of them, it's just going to cover the bases, tick the boxes, just know that it's something I haven't got to worry about. So then moving on to pre-workout. People go crazy on pre-workout, and we all have our favourites. And everybody always expects something different from a pre-workout, and I think that's why people kind of very much differ on what they do and don't like and what they see to be a good workout, pre-workout. So for me, my pre-workout isn't about crazy sessions. It's not about smashing PRs. It's not about having that focus. I do that. I have that focus. I have a training logbook that I'm going to go into the gym and I'm going to beat, and at the very worst, I'm going to match. So for me, a pre-workout is just creating a good training environment. And my pre-workout that I favour, it's created by another natural bodybuilder, and it is Endeavour. What I like about it is the fact it's simple. There's no blends, there's no complexes. It is what it is. It comprises of 4 ingredients, and these 4 ingredients are backed heavily by research. So it's something that that's why I use it. It does what it does, and it does what it does very well, and it gives that very good, consistent training environment that I like. I don't want a pre-workout that's going to make me feel like I'm crazy pumped. I don't need a pre-workout to make me focused. I'm focused. So in terms of pre-workout, that is my choice. Intra. Everybody loves Intra. Seems like a massive thing at the moment, and everybody's going to approach it differently. Currently, my Intra is branched chain aminos. Haven't got a little packet to wave around for that one. So branched chain aminos, and I like them because they taste nice. So I know there is research backed on branched chains. There's also some that say, don't know. And I know like in a fasted state or probably in a very depleted state, they probably have some more benefits than in an off-season and calorie surplus that I'm in currently. So purely my branched chain amino it's a bit of a habit thing from taking them for years and years and years. And I like drinking something other than water through training, which I drink water all day and coffee, but I don't know, it's just there's something. I have a bottle of water, a beaker full of branched chain aminos. Within the branched chain aminos, creatine goes in. Why Intra? Because how I make it. Branched chain amino packet is at the gym, and so is my normal creatine packet. So they go in at the same time. Pre-workout sits at home. So the fact that they're together and they go in at the same point. So when it comes to creatine, obviously creatine's heavily researched. There's loads of information out there backing creatine, and yet again, it's the price. It's so cheap that I might as well get it in. And you can situate creatine anywhere in your day. You don't have to worry about where it is. Mine just happens to go in with my Intra. I know a lot of people like a carb source in their Intra. During the off season, I'm full of carbs myself. I'm not needing extra carbs, and equally I don't struggle to get carbs in, so I'm not going to use Intra training as a time to put carbs in either. there are guys out there who highly rate intra workouts and intra carbs and loading intra carbs during workouts and things like that. But I don't find that in terms of performance, especially through the off season, is affected as heavily. When I was in a deficit and when I was in prep, I did use intra workouts. Nothing fancy, probably fruit pastels. So it wasn't really like just a jelly sweet. I would just have like 1 or 2 fruit pastels after every exercise, and it kept a consistent level of performance. Because what I was finding, I was getting about an hour and 10 minutes performance. I felt like really felt like hitting a wall, and I just had nothing left. Whilst just keeping that little bit of carb just helped get through the longer, more grueling workouts and being in that prep state. I did then go on to a maltodextrin drink that I then just mixed into my intra workout shake. Obviously, if you are looking at probably taking in more than maybe 20-30 grams of carbs, you probably need to consider on how well that carb source can sit in your stomach whilst training. I had no issues taking 20 to 30 grams of maltodextrin. That was fine with me. I know for some people it just wouldn't sit well at all. So, carbs and intra currently not in the off season, but definitely during prep. Wow, they felt pretty magical because you just kept that nice constant energy level through your training, and that's something that will take a hit during a prep. Post workout, nice and simple. It's whey protein and a carb source. So generally cereal or proteins. So that's post workout done for me, and that's very much in fitting my macro style. I don't have any like crazy kind of ratio to that. It's normally 40-50 grams of protein, and during off season I'm probably 100 to 200 grams of carbs, depending how productive I've got to be after my training session. If I hit a massive load of carbs, I'm going to just want to nap, and sometimes I just can't do it, can you? So if I know I've got stuff to do, I'll probably keep the carbs a little bit lower, but probably still around the 100 gram mark, whilst if I know, towards the end of the day, then it can be a lot higher. And obviously I'll kind of very much treat it like a meal. Pre-bed, one thing I do take is ZMA. Yeah, again, something I've taken it for years, and I find it does help with recovery. I know people say about it helping with sleep. I know people say it makes you have crazy dreams and things like that. But that's not really, why I take it. I have no issue sleeping through the off season, and during prep it didn't help at all when it came to sleep. But I do feel like it just gives me that little better recovery. So that's ZMA and why I take that before bed. And then on to the topic of something that I don't take and I can't ever see me taking: fat burners. See, lots of people you see, diet. As soon as the diet starts, the fat burners are in. Well, let's have a think about this. What burns fat? Calorie deficit. So eating a tablet isn't going to create a calorie deficit. So, to me, fat burners, if a fat burner makes you feel better, can give you more energy because you're in a calorie deficit, helps you stick to your calorie requirements for that day, I can kind of see the benefit of it. Most fat burners have caffeine content, so yeah, that's going to make you feel pretty good. Going to perk you up. Green tea, yeah, that's going to kind of perk you up and make you feel good. Then there's normally some sort of appetite depressant, which, from what I've heard from a lot of people, tends to just make your belly feel a bit weird and you feel a bit sick and a bit ill. And I think I prefer to feel a little bit hungry, so that's why I don't use fat burners. I think they're very pricey, and I just don't think they really give people what they think they're doing. Yeah, makes you feel a bit rough, so you tend probably not to want food, and it picks you up because it's got caffeine in it. And just look online, buy some caffeine tablets. They are probably one of the cheapest supplements out there. So that's my view on supplements. I try and keep it as simple as possible. Use what I know works. Use what I know helps me adhere to my diet, gives me good training performance, and aids with recovery. Obviously, I know there's loads of supplements out there. Like, well, you could spend all day and just looking and reading and researching, and they're always finding new stuff, and new stuff's great. But I won't ever use anything until I know it's kind of proven tested, and then equally, I'm not going to pay crazy money for something that might not work. If it's only got one study, then one study doesn't really show that much. So that's what I use. And for an average trainee and an average gym goer, I would say get yourself some whey protein, cover your bases with probably a multivitamin and a fish oil, and you're good to go. Only once you kind of reach certain levels will you benefit from a pre-workout, that consistent training environment, the mentality of branched chain aminos and Intra. A lot of people say that that there can be very much a mindset thing, and so don't get too focused on the supplements. Focus on nailing the basics, being consistent in your nutrition, training and sleep. Okay, hope that's been nice and informative to you. If you've got any questions, post them below. I'll be more than happy to answer either via comment or I'll just create another video. Thank you very much.